Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Today we're going to be discussing the energy that will be prominent beginning tomorrow, the 25th of April, and going through the weekend. It is a very powerful week this week from an astrological configuration standpoint. We've got a planet that is entering shadow, getting ready to go retrograde, a planet going retrograde, and then the star of the show is the very powerful new Moon Partial Solar Eclipse in Taurus. That's happening Saturday. But let's break it down. So on Tuesday of this week, Mercury is going to enter shadow, slowing down, getting ready to officially go retrograde on the 10th of May in the sign of Gemini. Right now it's in Taurus. Again, it's going to continue moving through the latter degrees of Taurus into Gemini, stationary, and then move backwards back to the sign of Taurus, the point that it was on Tuesday, and then come out of retrograde cycle, enter shadow, and then move forward again and exit Gemini on the 18th of June. So we've got an elongated Mercury retrograde cycle that will start out in Taurus, then move into Gemini, then back to Taurus, then out of Gemini. So the themes that will be repeated again. Tuesday the 26th, we'll be revisiting that theme on or around the 3rd of June, and then on the 10th of May, the theme that's that day or that energy around that day will be revisited on the 18th. Now, I like retrograde cycles. It can be very frustrating at times because, as we know, Mercury rules communications, transportation, moving things, so electronics, that sort of thing. So there could be some malfunctions there. If you get frustrated, just understand that it's for the purpose of revision. And it really does, Mercury retrograde cycle, or any retrograde cycle for that matter, gives us an opportunity to use the review, revise, revamp, renew. So it's a second chance, if you will. So I don't mind those retrograde cycles, and depending on where they fall in your houses, and that's based on your natal chart, it will affect you in different areas. But I'm looking forward to this Mercury retrograde cycle because it is kicking off our eclipse season as well. Then again, that is on Tuesday the 26th. On the 29th, Pluto is going to officially go retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto entered shadow in early January of this year. And so we will be revisiting the themes that at that time that presented themselves. And those themes have to do with power. Because remember that Pluto is in the latter degrees of Capricorn. So it's anaretic degrees of Capricorn, right around 28 degrees. And it's really the breakdown of power and the manner in which it's used, the assertion of that power. Is the power used for the purpose of control, or is power used for the purpose of unity? Are you stepping into your own power? How well do you use your power? Again, do you use your power so that you can control others, or do you use your power for the promotion of unity consciousness or communities or groups? And it's important during this particular Pluto retrograde cycle, and depending on where it falls in your natal chart, to realign with stepping into your power for the purpose of unity consciousness. Because we're getting ready to go into Aquarius, Pluto is going to remain in Capricorn until November of 2024. In 2023, Pluto will enter Aquarius, but it goes retrograde and then forward again and leaves Capricorn for good, well, for quite a few years, on November of 2024. So while it's in the anaretic degrees of Capricorn, it's really breaking down old structures where power is used for the purpose of control, top-down authority, my way or the highway, and just asserting your power on others regardless of the outcome that it has on them. So it's time for that to go. It is absolutely time for that to go. Now, on the 29th, which is, again, the same day that Pluto goes retrograde, Saturn is going to, which is in Aquarius, is going to square the nodal axis, which is, the nodal axis right now is on Taurus, Scorpio, second house, eighth house axis. And it's important that with Saturn squaring the nodal axis, especially in Aquarius, we are going to be asked to structure boundaries, or be facing boundaries, but structuring boundaries, putting them in place for the long term that allow us to align with unity consciousness, which is, again, your true north node, or the north node that of the collective. Because the second and eighth house, to boil it down more simply, it's your resources, other people's resources, but I'm seeing it as self-worth, okay? So with Saturn square the nodal axis, are you implementing boundaries that preserve your self-worth? Are you appreciating boundaries that, or restrictions that promote your self-worth? So that's something that's going to come into play during this Pluto retrograde cycle. And then, just as an unbelievable consequence, the very next day we have our solar eclipse, new moon partial solar eclipse. But before that happens, Mercury enters Gemini. So on the 29th, also, Mercury's going to enter Gemini, which is why I'm all over the place. I feel this energy a little in advance. Mercury in Gemini is very different from Mercury in Taurus. Mercury in Taurus was purposeful communications. Mercury in Gemini is kind of bouncing around, hitting everything kind of in a superficial way versus really purposeful, digging deep, getting into it. So I have to be mindful of that and try to focus my communications as best I can so we don't get too far off track. So you will have fast-paced communications. Things will happen relatively quickly because Mercury rules Gemini. That's one of the planets of its rulership. So it is expeditious communications. It is expeditious travel, but it can be surface-oriented, somewhat scattered, but it's very social. So I truly do enjoy Mercury and Gemini. I just have to make sure when I'm communicating that I do the best I can to keep myself on track. Then, as I mentioned, Saturday, the 30th, we've got a big, powerful, intense new moon partial solar eclipse in Taurus. This is the second eclipse on this nodal axis. However, the first eclipse that is going to draw us closer to our north node. The last one was relative, back in November, was relative to Scorpio, which was south node. So now we are being asked to really align with our north node as an individual, but as well for the collective as well. Now Uranus is speaking in harmony at the time of this conjunction, which is the moon and the sun, and this partial solar eclipse. So Uranus is also within 4 degrees of orb of the sun and moon. What does this mean? That means unpredictability and surprises. And while Uranus is in Taurus, some of those themes relative to Taurus have to do with financial stability, tried and true mechanisms, finance and banking. However, it can throw off geomagnetics or unpredictable earth activities, earthquakes, seismic activities, but also solar flares. I did read a couple of days ago that there were some significant solar flares. There may be a couple of those that occur, interrupting internet connections or your phone or cell phone usage. You can expect some of that as well. Taurus stands for food harvests and production. There could be some interruptions in food delivery systems or being able to access fresh produce. With the sun and the moon and Uranus within that close of orb of each other, that also indicates sudden, profound clarity and awakenings. So, for example, I have to tell you, a couple of days ago, I had a family member reach out to me and out of the blue shared something with me that changed my understanding of a situation in a very profound way instantaneously. So you can expect that there could be some instances, occurrences out of the blue that happen that provide you with profound clarity and awakening. That's the sun, that's the moon, that's Uranus, all getting together. And like I mentioned, Uranus is also harmonizing with Mars at this time. So any sudden changes that occur, Mars is going to give you the wherewithal to take action to shift and change in a way that you need to, that certainly aligns with your North Node. Keep in mind, I mentioned that the North Node is accentuated here. Now, also, this particular eclipse in Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is in a great configuration right now. So Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces, and it's at 27 degrees, which is an amazing degree for Venus to be at. Once a year this happens, and it is the most romantic, loving, compassionate day of the year. Now, in addition to that, if that was not enough, with Venus and Jupiter being conjunct, they are within 3 degrees of orb of Neptune. This is a triple and very rare conjunction. It speaks of unity consciousness, compassion, intuition, divine partnerships, bliss in love and relationships, and all of that energy as a whole is sextiling Pluto. So you do something to get something that means transformations to you on this amazing level. Again, this is a North Node eclipse. This is very powerful, very positive energy that is just going to catapult you forward so fast. Within an instant, you could find yourself in an entirely different realm of understanding, level of spirituality, awakening, all of that. All of that has to do with this Venus and Pisces and Neptune and Pisces and Jupiter and Pisces and Capricorn and the breakdown of top-down authorities and the use of power. Now, with Pluto trining the North Node at the time of this eclipse, now that trine, it doesn't just perfect on this day. It's been building up, and it will continue for several days after. This is also very positive energy that transforms our reality. Like I said, expect the unexpected and expect to align with your North Node. The more you resonate with your North Node, the more positive this particular partial solar eclipse will be for you. There's no doubt about that. And let's not forget the T-square between Eris and Aries and Eris and Aries, Pluto and Capricorn, and then Haumea down in Libra, creating new Earth as the old structures are collapsing. Haumea is very busy birthing the new. So we, under the light of this particular configuration, can see that reality, that new Earth birthing for us at that time. Very, very powerful week ahead. So what can we do with this energy? With all of this going on this week, with these profound changes that can be on the horizon for us, I would like to ask you to be as self-reliant as you can be, and please step away, break away from those toxic structures where power is mismanaged, be it in the workplace, be it in relationships that you have with yourself or others, or anywhere where fear-based reality is rewarded, where you find people rooted in fear or spinning in that fear. Please step away from that. The more you do, the greater that this astrological configuration in this very powerful week will work in your favor. Accept your power, especially when it comes to spiritual oneness and unity consciousness. Think to yourself, where do I want to be? If I have a magic wand and I can wave it today, where do I want to be so that I can align with my North Node and unity consciousness? Because this is the week where manifestation is going to occur, and it's going to occur really quickly. Focus on what you want to create long term, not just today, but long term. Use that square between Saturn and the North Node to determine what boundaries you need to have in place, what structures for the long haul, so that you can attain those goals and reach your North Node, not only as an individual, but that for the collective. Align with self-worth, self-respect. This is the 2nd and 8th house nodal axis. So we want to align with presence, being in the now, unity consciousness, and like I said, self-worth and self-respect. Respect others, respect the differences of others, and understand it takes us all to be one. That energetic power this week is so very powerful. I ask you to please use it wisely. Be mindful of your choices, not only today, but what influence they could have in the future. And ride the wave that's coming this week. I know I will be. Thank you so much for your time. That's all I have for you this week. If you like this video, please do like it. You have any comments or questions, please post them in the comment section below. And if you would like to know when videos are being dropped, if you click the subscribe button, you will certainly know when videos are being dropped. Again, thank you for your patience with me the last couple of weeks. I've struggled through some health concerns, but I'm back on the horse again. Have a great week. God bless. Namaste.